Today I'm going to share with you a really easy afternoon project using IKEA tea towels that I had left over from Christmas. It's for Valentine's Day, and I'm using some IOD decor stamps. I'll be using the floral swag today and the typesetting. So let's get cracking. Okay, so when you open up your stamps, they come on a plastic transfer sheet, which I use to align the design. And I actually made a mistake before, I'm sorry. I'm using the Queen Bee design for this particular one here. So you just peel off your stamp that you're going to use. And the best way that I find is to actually put your design out onto what you're stamping first, so that you can sort of, make everything straight. You do the stamp down, side down, and I'm going to be using the words "Be Mine" today. So you just go ahead and line up, line it up. If you're a bit of a stickler for everything's got to be straight, this is where I'd be using a tape measure or a ruler. I eyeball everything. I don't mind everything a little bit skewish because it adds a little bit of character. So obviously the typesetting stamps, come with a set of uppercase and a set of lowercase and numbers. So, but there's only one of each. So you've got to obviously move the E, because we're using two E's, move it along with your design. And also we just flip this around to bracket in the design. So that looks pretty good to me. It's all fits lined up. Okay. It sometimes does take a little bit of fiddling around, but it's well worth it in the end. So I just use the top of the transfer sheets that come with the stamps, and I then just place that across the top of my design. I've joined two together for the longer designs that I did at Christmas time. And then you just run your hand over the design to make the stamp stick to the transfer sheet, and roll it around. I just noticed that just went a bit wobbly. You can also move it around once it's on the transfer sheet as well, if you like. And this is where you could also use a ruler to line it all up. So then the next thing you do is you just put a bit of the IOD ink. I'm using Stone Grey. Onto an old plate, an old bit of cardboard, or a tile as I'm using today. And you just grab your brayer, and I just move around in both directions to pick up the ink. You don't need too much. I'm actually going to be making a few more, so there's quite a bit of ink on here. There's probably too much just for one tea towel. Then you just lightly dab over the top of your design. You just want to be careful that you don't go too heavy-handed and get it onto the transfer sheets, because it will end up on the tea towel. I learnt that the hard way at Christmas time. So I just go in opposite direction just to get in all the nooks and crannies in the detail, especially with this floral piece. Okay, and then you just flip it over, line it up to where you would like it on your tea towel, and drop it, and don't move it. And then you just gently, using your fingers, go over your design. And depending on how deep you want the colouring, If you press really hard, you're going to get obviously more of a deep colour. If you go lighter, you're going to get, you know, that sort of faded look. And then you just pull it off. So then we just need to finish off the other side of the swag. So we just reload again, getting into all the nooks and crannies. And I just free hand this bit. If you want to, you can put it onto a smaller piece of transfer film, but once you've done it a few times, it becomes a lot easier just to do it this way. And just drop, hold it in place with one hand, and just run over with your fingers, making sure you don't move it because otherwise it smudges. And then pull it off, grab your E, apply some more ink, and then line it up and pop it on. And there you go, and there you have a really simple, easy craft to do, Valentine's craft to do in one afternoon. I will let this dry for 24 hours and then I'll heat set it just with a really hot iron to make sure that the ink adheres to the fabric. And you just wash your stamps up in hot soapy water and then put them back onto the sheets to keep them all nice and flat. So I hope you've enjoyed this project today, and look forward to sharing more fun things with IOD with you.